So, although he gained a huge advantage with the early vulture attack, he's made nothing of it, and is starting to fall behind in unit count, in supply, in expansions. He has an idle SCV. Of course, the Protoss probably does too, but I can't find it. Not an idle SCV, an idle probe, that is, of course. The Protoss is far ahead of his supply count because of the pylons needed to power cannons, whereas the Terran, if he's not careful, is going to be supply blocked even with his slow production. Right now we're sitting at 60 supply versus 75, and it looks like the Protoss is gaining. He's also finally putting up another gateway. So 3 gateways, and Templar tech will be incoming. This is a very turtley Terran. However, he's now making more production facilities to keep up with the extra gateway that Protoss added, but it's still not enough. However, the Protoss doesn't appear to have the best production either, although he's still steadily adding gateways. 80 supply now to 70. And the Protoss's money is starting to stack up as well, while the Terran is finally spending his on another expansion. This is not a good decision by the Terran. He's not using the income from his 2 bases anyway. He should be producing units, not making an expansion. The expansion may prove a good thing if it gets into late game, but it's a little early to plan for that. Still, he's equalizing income with the Protoss, which is never good for the said Protoss, so this may be a sound plan after all. Protoss is starting to add production buildings. Gateway, gateway, gateway. And things are looking bad for the Terran, who's finally moving out with a almost pure Goliath force with a couple tanks for show. Let's see what happens. An observer is both following and coming out to meet the force, but it's not liable to do much damage as the mineral blocks are still in place and have not been mined at all. The Terran might have wanted to bring a couple of SCVs along to deal with these. Meanwhile, the Protoss is reorganizing his forces. There are some here. He's up to 120 supply with well-spent minerals versus 90. This is a matter of time or else a timing attack from the Terran, but the Protoss is so far ahead it's not really funny. There's a scouting refinery. You don't see those too often. But unless this Terran is actually planning to take this base, which would be ballsy, this is not a good idea. Goon soup is being made out of the goons. The Terran is preparing for a break, but not very efficiently. And he still has a lot of money and only 105 supply. The Protoss has an idle probe, finally. Lots of money, but 140 supply. Basically, all the Protoss has to do is crush this one attack. He was waiting for arbiters. And the game will be over because the Terran has not been reinforcing fast enough. Although he is now producing. Will he keep producing? Only time will tell. The 3rd expansion is online, but only producing slowly. There's a mass of units streaming up to this one base. The Protoss's best course of action might actually be a counterattack. Possibly an arbiter attack and recall on the main. But I'm not sure we'll see this in this game. It's been a well-played game, just sloppy. The Protoss is getting very close to maxed out, but has money piling up from 3 expansions. The Terran has money piling up as well and is nowhere near maxed out. He's sloppy with his production again. Look at these. Queued units, factories not building. But still, this is a large force, and if he can break before the Protoss has arbiters out, then Sentinel will be in a lot of trouble despite his huge advantage. And yes, I've been just talking about the races, but once again, the Protoss is Sentinel playing for Internet White Knights. Terran is Badewell, who plays for Hivemind. Meanwhile, Badewell's using his forces well and has tanks on this expansion. Things are getting ugly for Sentinel, but he's got an Arbiter coming. It will be seen by the... It was seen, but now it's heading back. It's heading back to try to deal with this attack. The Terran has finally mined out the gap. His tanks are sitting here with nothing left to shoot at. This is a long-range engagement, but the goons are getting the worst of it. 100 supply for the Terran, Badewell. 130 for the Protoss Sentinel. Things are looking slightly better for Badewell, and he has all the pressure he wants, but he doesn't quite seem to be able to crack, and now there is a recall in his base. Those factories that he's not using are now going to be destroyed. And this could be the end if he can't crack the base. We should see an elimination race coming up here quickly. And it looks like Badewell and Sentinel have that idea too, but Sentinel's production is much better, and he's not lost gateways yet. So this looks like it will be a fast GG from Badewell. And the first set of this matchup looks like it is going to go to the Internet White Knights with their Protoss hero Sentinel. However, there is no GG yet, despite the fact that Badewell has no production buildings left. Okay, he has 2 factories. He's got a small army, but it's inactive. The tanks are still on the ridge. But yes, this is game. It's only a matter of time. And if Badewell does not GG soon, he will be left out in the cold, as he is eliminated. Not even a barracks to fly off to some new safe haven. Merely destruction. I'm not sure there's any doubt as to the outcome. Even the scouting refinery is being taken down. The tanks are still here. Hopefully Badewell's in one of those tanks and just doesn't realize the destruction being wrought on his base. Now goons are chasing SCVs. An SCV is trying to make a missile turret. I have no idea what use that will be. Is it a loser's ceremony? Badewell does still have a base over here, but the GG, and this game, my friends, is over.